Hey, good evening, everyone. Paul McMann here with Forex Smart Trade. It is Monday, May 2nd, 2022. So glad you could be here with me today. Here at Forex Smart Trade, our mission is to make you a successful currency trader. And we do that by teaching you how to trade with our proprietary, super accurate trading tools. And we supplement that with some one-on-one instruction, which we think is the only way to efficiently and effectively learn to currency trade. Currency trading is very difficult, and having the right tools, instruction, and mentor make a big difference in you being able to figure it out faster and make money quicker. In this session, I focus on a couple different trades that I specifically like, and one of them is something called the one of them is called the 10-point trade, where we're trying to get all the lines to line up. And another is a little scalp trade called the thick orange line trade. Depending on if we have time, we will try to get both trades in. With that, we need to listen to this guy before we get too far down the road. So let me find him and get going.
Due to federal and state regulations, we are providing the following disclosure. Please stay tuned, as this will take less than a minute. Foreign exchange, futures, and cryptocurrency trading are highly risky, and you can lose all the money you invest should you decide to engage in live trading. We are not responsible for your investment, trading, or tax decisions. We are not licensed financial advisors, traders, accountants, stockbrokers, or attorneys. We are not licensed commodities brokers and do not engage in or facilitate commodities transactions. We are not an introducing broker, and we make no recommendation as to where you should invest or what broker you should trade with. As you apply what you learn, we recommend you seek advice from licensed professionals. Any trade results that we show should not be considered typical of our students. We do not and cannot track the results or performance of our students' private trading accounts. We do not know what a typical or average student earns or loses trading. This is not a get-rich-quick program, guaranteed system, or business opportunity. We sell training and trading tools. We make no promises our training or tools will generate future income for students, and you may not make your investment back, including your investment in this training. Any redistribution or recording of this material is strictly prohibited without advance written permission.
One of the many great things, or one of the great things about our program, there are many, but one of the great things is that we do these live trades. And when you are a member, we do a trade in the morning at 10 a.m. Usually that's a little scalp trade between 3 to 5 pips. At 10 p.m. Eastern, we also do another trade. That tends to be a longer-term trade where we're focusing on Australian pairs as it's approaching morning time in Australia. At 8 p.m., there is another trade session. This is costs extra, but it is well worth it. Where Dale, who's been he was taught by Kevin Jones Sr., shows us his stuff. When you are in the light program, you get access to what's up on top here in the yellow. We are doing this trade right now, the Monday evening trade. We will be here again tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. And then that'll be followed by the intro to coaching session. In these sessions, one, you get to see an experienced trader trade. So it's a teaching moment. Two, they recommend a trade so you can evaluate how accurate their analysis is. The only difference between me and you is I've learned how to read the currency, read the indicator. I've been trading a little over 3 years, and prior to that, I didn't even know you could trade currency. So with that, I work off of a checklist, and my computer's a little screwed up today, and I haven't had time to fix it. So I'm having difficulty opening Windows, so I had to open it through the web. I go through a little trade routine. Before I start every day, I make sure I refresh my green charts and my MetaTrader 4. It's good to turn your green chart on and off once a day. I typically review the trades that I took, specifically the trades that didn't do what I wanted them to do. So I can figure out why it didn't do what I wanted it to do and make corrections so that I continue to get better. As we are technical traders, we're trading strictly based on the price action. Currency isn't just currency is more than just a technical indicator. News impacts it. We want to know what that news is so that we can trade around it. And I go to forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com breaks the news down into nice little chunks. Yellow is low impact. Orange is we got any orange? Orange tomorrow night is medium impact, and red tonight at 12:30 is high impact. So the Australian dollar got a couple things tonight. Any trades that we would take should be closed well before 2 hours of this. Should be closed by 10:30. We're at 6:30 now. Tomorrow is a bank holiday in Japan, so that's starting. So we're going to probably avoid trades with the yen, and we don't trade the Chinese currency. So we've got to think about the Australian dollar and the yen, because the indicators work better when there's trading activity, and if the bank's closed, that's going to lower the trading activity. So we need to take that into consideration. So with that, let's start our analysis. This first chart that I'm looking at is one of the charts in the standard layouts. It is called the Light 6 Major. And I like to consider it the Composite Chart because it's showing me 6 different currency pairs, all on a 1-hour candle. I principally trade off of a 1-hour candle, although the trade that I send out at 6 p.m. Is based off of the 1-day chart. It's kind of a modified version, and I'm using kind of a modified version of the 10-point trade. With this chart, I am looking for anywhere between 5 to 35 pips off of a 1-hour chart. I am starting with the middle part of the chart, which are the majors and the minors. The red and green line is the major indicator. The black and gray is the minor indicator. The horizontal blue line is overbought line. The horizontal red line is the oversold line. And I am looking for situations where these lines are either the majors and minors are above the blue and pointing down, which is a signal for a sell trade, or below the red and pointing up. So like here, had we caught this here, everybody's pointing up, we would have been able to get this run as it runs through the channel. So right now we are with the AUD USD, we are overbought, but we don't have agreement. Minors have started to come down. Majors are still going up. Euro USD, everybody is overbought and still going up. By the way, our trade tonight was a pending buy, a buy stop. And the reason I went with the buy stop is because we were approaching the resistance line, and I wanted to break the resistance line before we took the trade. So we did one of those last week, and it closed before 10. Pound USD, we're in the middle of the channel, so I'm going to pass. I want to catch it on either side. Sometimes if it's not quite halfway, I will consider the trade, but we're clearly more than halfway. USD Canadian dollar, oversold. Minors are going up. Majors are sideways. Some might consider this up. I don't. I want to see it going up versus sideways. We do have the double cross. Double cross is the green line is crossed over the red when it's going up, and the gray line is crossed over the black. But I don't like it because of the slope here. So we're going to pass. Plus, it's non-prime time for USD and Canadian dollar. I want to trade when at least one of these is morning time, and we don't have that. So I'm going to pass. USD Swiss franc. This is a little bit better than this. We're oversold. We've started to go up. We're not quite halfway, but we've got the steepness of the majors is better here than what we're seeing here. This is more sideways. This is up. This is a nice steep up. So I've got 3 points here. 1, we're oversold. 2, everybody's pointing up. And 3, I've got the double cross. Green is crossed over. Gray is crossed over. Then I am going to go to my TNTs. And here are 4 different indicators. They're all kind of tracking things at a different speed. I'm going to count how many lines are consistent with the buy signal I see here. The 2 orange lines are going up, although the thin orange isn't going up that steeply. So that's 2. Blue lines are inversely related. Dotted blue is coming down. So when dotted blue comes down, that means buy. So 3 of the 4 lines are telling me buy. What I'm trying to do is get agreement across all 3 sections. And if I get agreement across all 3 sections, I've got a good trade. Here we have very mild up pressure. Very mild up pressure. It's really more sideways. The green line is sloped up. So I've got a point here with the mild up pressure. I would also get a point if the green line were on top. So I've got 7 points here. 3 here, 3 here, and 1 here. But I'm going to pass on this trade. And the reason I'm going to pass on this trade is because it's 1 a.m. in Switzerland, and it's non-trading time here in the U.S. But this is the setup of what I'm looking for. In fact, while we've been talking, the lines have even gotten a little bit more steeper and is now touching the middle part. But I don't want to take this because of it's non-prime time trading. And the reason I walked through it is just because part of the session is to find a good trade, but also to understand the signals as to what I'm looking at. USD yen, we're going to just skip that because the bank holiday, we're in the middle of the channel anyways, everybody going down, so we're going to skip that. So I have cloned this chart, and I call it 6 major 2, and I've got just 6 different pairs. So I've just changed the currency pair, and these are non-US based pairs. So here's the euro pound. We're in the middle of the channel going up, so I'm going to pass. Australian dollar yen. Minors are coming down. Majors haven't committed yet. I don't have the double cross, so I'm going to pass. Euro Canadian dollar. Non-prime time for both of these, so I am going to pass. We're just about halfway on the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. We were oversold. Everybody's going up. I have the double cross, so I've got 3 points here, but I do not like that I am seeing the green line has a kink in it right here. And it's going from more steep to less steep. I don't like it when it goes from more steep to less steep. If I go up to my TNTs, I only have 1 orange line telling me buy. 1 orange line is telling me buy. 1 is telling me sell. 1 blue line is telling me buy. 1 is telling me sell. So I may have 2 of the 4. I want to have at least 3 of the 4. And then if I were to look at the pressure, I've got down pressure, so I don't have a point here either. So nothing there. Pound yen, middle of the channel. Euro Australian dollar, we're more than halfway through the channel. Had we caught this right here when it first came, there was a nice little run here, but I myself generally avoid trades more than the halfway. Now, the only time I don't is 80% of my trades, 90% of my trades are on the Euro USD. On the Euro USD, since I'm so familiar with it, I may take some pips when the setup is halfway, when it's more than halfway. But that's my only exception. So on something that I'm not familiar with, I'm not making an exception. But I've seen it enough on the Euro USD where I can sometimes take a trade here and still get my 10 pips. And I get the best chance of getting my 10 pips by catching it on this side of the oversold line and letting it run to this side of the overbought line. So nothing there. Let's keep going. So I've cloned it again, and I've got 6 other pairs. Canadian dollar, yen, we're going to pass because it's the yen. Euro, New Zealand dollar. Interesting. All right, so this is not a bad signal. Now, the miners have kind of run all the way through the channel. I'm okay with that. I want to see where the majors are. The majors haven't quite reached halfway. Good steepness here. So I've got 3 points. 1 where we're going oversold. 2, everybody's going up. And 3, the green and gray lines are on top. 2 orange lines going up. So that's 2 points. 2 blue lines coming down. So I got all 4 telling me buy here. I've got down pressure. Ooh, down pressure with the red line on top. If the green line had crossed the red line, I would consider this. I would go to the next step of the analysis. I do like that the green line is sloped up. Like that's a big positive. But I want the green line to be on top of the red. So I'm going to pass. Pound New Zealand dollar. All right, 3 points here. This setup and this setup are almost the same. So 3 points here. I like this. 2 orange lines going up, 2 blue lines going down. So I get 4 out of 4 here. And I've got down pressure with the green line on top. So the lines aren't going the way I want. I'd prefer to have these lines going up, but I do have the green line on top. And the green line is changing slope, going from more steep to less steep. So I like this. So pound New Zealand dollar. If we go back to my trade routine, I want to now confirm the entry. So what do I mean by confirm the entry? I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Oops. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's move this back here. I want to see other time periods, other time charts of the trade. So here I got the Euro USD. What was that? That was the pound NZD. I got to write it down. Pound NZD, and it was a buy. So I'm going to change this to the pound NZD. Great Britain pound and NZD. And this chart versus the composite chart showing me 6 different pairs. This is just one pair, the pound New Zealand, but different time periods. So there's a 2-minute, a 30-minute, the 1 hour. The 1 hour, this is what we were just looking at. I want to see what the 2 hour and the 4 hour are doing. And ideally, I want them both to be oversold. And they don't necessarily have to be going up. So this one, we've got the lines going up. On the 4 hour, I am oversold. The lines haven't started to turn up yet. The minors have, the majors haven't. And the reason I want this oversold and this oversold is that if this weakens, if this signal weakens, I'm still going to catch it on the longer term chart. So whereas if this were a buy here and it was overbought here, oversold here and overbought here, I wouldn't want to take it because there's conflict between the two charts. But here, across the next 4 hours, it is telling me buy. I usually don't consider what's going on the day chart, but I will tell you that this pattern that we're seeing here, we're overbought here. So if we were overbought on the 4 hour, I wouldn't take this trade, or I wouldn't consider it. On the 1 day, I will. And this pattern here, if you kind of look at the majors, it looks like a duck's head. So here's his bill, and here's like his eye. A duck bill usually means there's more of a push up. There's going to be a little bit more of a push up. So I like the setup. So then the question is, if I go back to my my trade routine, I want to know what the support and resistance are and what the channels are. So to do that, I am again going to here is I've done that on my Euro USD. And oops, you don't see it here, but let me should show you. I already have, since I trade this a lot on the Euro USD, I have my support and resistance built in there. So you can see we've got that little up move. That buy that I sent out tonight is when it breaks this line, when it breaks that line. I am going to do this for the pound New Zealand dollar. Great Britain pound NZD. And I am going to pull this together. So support and resistance are basically spots where the candles seem to naturally stop. So by pulling it together, I get a bunch more data points to drop my line on. So I'm going to go to Tools, Horizontal. I'm going to drop a line in. And then I am going to find the spot where there seems to be some natural stopping. So right in here, right in here, right in here, in here. Draw another line, and then I'm going to try to find the spot up here. See, I don't have many points here. All right, I'm going to go right here because it seems to have stopped here, and it stopped here. This, to me, is a little far. A little far. Usually, we're going from 360 to 950. On the Euro USD, these things are on a 1 hour chart are about 40 pips apart. So let's drop in another one here. So it seems to bump right in here, and we will take one more below. So right in here, right in here, in here, in here. You could argue of pulling this down just a little bit more. Let's see if we pull it down to there. Come on. Yeah, we'll pull it down to there. So I'm going from 396 to 458. So that's almost 90 pips. And 278 to 369, again about 90 pips. 494, 945 to 955, that's about 100 pips. So, all right, I'm okay with that. Then the question is, what is the trend? So what are we trading into here? It's not quite as clear. You know, here's an uptrend here, but then it kind of broke and started going up. So I'm not convinced. I'm not, what am I looking for? A channel. A little bit of an uptrend. I don't know. I'm not crazy about this uptrend. You know, this seems like more of an uptrend here. Then it broke. And then we're trading again into an uptrend. So we're taking a buy into an uptrend. So when we take a buy into an uptrend, that's worth more pips than taking a buy into a downtrend. So, you know, do you want to argue this is a downtrend here or over the last, this is just today, but over the last week, kind of going up. So let's see. So then I want to know how much room do I have to each of these lines? So going up to this line, I've got about 32 pips. And going down, I've got 53 pips. 32 and 53. And I'm just making it bigger so we can see it a little better. Let's see here. I'm just thinking about it. I'm just getting rid of the line so it's easier to look at. Come on. All right, so somewhere between 10 and 15 pips, I'm thinking. Let me just go back and look at the chart one more time. And we've got to get it to redo it. All right, we're going to take a buy for 12 pips. A buy for 12 pips on the pound New Zealand dollar. So I'm opening my MetaTrader 4. I don't have the pound New Zealand dollar open, so I'm going to go, this is a demo account, go to new chart. I'm going to find pound New Zealand dollar. It's not in that first group. It's not in the second group, so I'm going to go into the third group. Pound New Zealand dollar. So let's see if we can find it. Pound. Why aren't we seeing it? There it is down here. Pound New Zealand dollar. So I'm opening the chart. Oh, what's the problem here, gang? What is the problem here? Now, normally on the Euro USD, I'm at 0.97 to 105. So this is 8 pips or 8 points, just less than a pip. Normally this is like 3 points. So the spread, so this is a little bit of a high spread. But if we look on the pound New Zealand dollar, we've got an 8 pip spread, so a 9 pip spread. We're going from 21 to 30. That's 9 pips. We want to take a trade for 11 pips, and the broker wants 9 pips. So we're not going to do that. That spread is exceptionally large. If it was 2, maybe 3, I might consider it, but I'm not going to pay 9 pips to the broker. So it means that the trade has to move 9 pips before I get back to break even. So I just don't want to do that. Let's 7 o'clock. I want to see. We used up our time, and I don't know if there's. Let me just see real quick here. If it hasn't changed yet. Nope, it changed. Huh. I'm seeing if there was a little scalp trade here, but the scalp trade I'm looking for is right at the top of the hour. And since the clock changed, I'm seeing if there is still a signal at the top of the last hour, because we can still catch it. I'm looking for this to be 0 or 1 or within 1 point. I've got 0 or 10 or within 1 point. So this is within 1 of 10. But the support for this is these being well overbought. They're not quite there yet. So nothing there. And you can see they're still going up. So maybe this hour, this might be okay. Let's see over here. Can I go back? So not 0 or 10. This is 10. But look where my majors and minors are. They're in the middle of the channel. I want them to be well overbought. So no good. 10, no good. No, no, no. Let's look at 4. Again, I'm going to pull it back to the top of the hour because we can still catch this a few minutes in. No. Yes, but these aren't quite high enough. I'd like to see them higher, and nothing. So, and you can see this is still going up. When this is at 10, what it's telling us is that it doesn't believe there's any more down in the movement. If there's no more down in the movement, it's a good time to sell. But we don't want to just trade on one piece of information. We want something to confirm it. And the confirmation is all of these lines being well above the blue. And last hour they weren't. They were down. They were just touching the blue. And even this isn't quite high enough for me. I'd like to see the red a little higher. And what happens is then at the top of the hour when the candle changes, because there's like pressure on it, you can kind of think of it almost as a rubber band being pulled. And when the candle changes, there's a little snap, and we catch that little snap, but we didn't see it. Okay, gang, I am sorry. We saw a setup on the pound New Zealand dollar, but we chose not to take a trade because the spread was so high. Let's see if we have any comments. And Sam, I will call you tomorrow. I've been up since 3 and I'm tired. So what time zone are you? If you're Eastern, I'll give you a call early in the morning. Let's see what else we've got. Let's see, John, this big spread. The pound AUD is similar to the big spread, but pair's only running at a 4 pip spread. So 4 pips maybe. But the signal wasn't quite as good on the pound Australian dollar, I think. now that I'm doing it. Spread is going down, but still needs 30 minutes to have a normal. This is sometimes I've usually found that usually by 6 o'clock Eastern, the spread comes down. That's why I do it at 6:30. Sometimes it carries a little bit onto it. Okay. Thank you for the comments. All right, gang. I'm losing my thought. I had to get up this morning at 3. My son, I got a 15-year-old who does some acting, and he got called in for background on a show on Stars. Stars, I guess, is like HBO. It's a show called Heels. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's about wrestlers, and the bad guy in wrestling is called the heel. So he's doing background in that, and they had to be there really early. And they're shooting again tomorrow. And tomorrow he's going in. He's going in to meet a director. He got a audition for some role in a speaking role in a movie. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. And apparently they're Atlanta's becoming the Hollywood West. They're building all sorts of studios there, and they got filming going on all the time. If he didn't have to go to school, he could probably be doing something every day. But we try to be a little picky on what we're going to do because it's still Atlanta's 3 hours away. But in any case, I'm tired, so we're going to call it a night, and we will be here again tomorrow morning at 6:30. Thanks so much for being here.